Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're plunging into a topic that resonates deeply with so many of you, the profound journey of increasing and improving speech in children who are non-vocal or minimally vocal. It's a challenge that touches families and professionals alike, and our mission today is to unpack effective, maybe even surprising strategies from Chapter 6 of the Verbal Behavior Approach. Think of this as your shortcut to understanding not just the how, but the really impactful why behind these methods.
That's absolutely right. This deep dive tackles a tough reality.
Yeah.
Sometimes, despite immense effort, a child just isn't speaking.
Right.
Our aim is to explore concrete, research-backed ABA techniques that offer hope and a clear path forward, defining key terms, and importantly, providing practical, real-life examples for you to consider.
Great.
The author, a board-certified behavior analyst since 2003, shares powerful insights from her own extensive work, drawing on pioneers like Dr. Mark Sundberg and Dr. Vincent Carbone. What's fascinating here is how functional speech can develop even in older children, which really challenges some long-held assumptions.
So let's unpack this foundational challenge then. What happens when you've genuinely done everything by the book? You've tried teaching a child to mand, which for those new to the term means to request something they want using spoken words. But, well, silence is the only response.
Yeah.
The chapter highlights a crucial, almost counterintuitive truth. You don't want to inadvertently reinforce that very silence.
Precisely. If we're somehow rewarding a child for not communicating vocally, that silence, that non-vocal behavior can actually increase. What's fascinating here is the understanding that you cannot force someone to talk.
Yeah.
Think about it. Say cat, and expecting a response simply won't work if the child's vocal cords aren't yet producing the sound or, if they lack the underlying motivation.
Okay.
This raises an important question. If force isn't the answer, what can we do? The aha moment often lies in shifting our focus. We start with a non-vocal program, helping a child sign a word or point to a picture to communicate their needs. This is where the ABA approach truly excels, providing a pathway to communication that applies not just to kids on the autism spectrum, but also those with Down syndrome and other disorders.
That's interesting.
I've seen cases where older children who had been non-vocal for years started making word approximations within minutes of these procedures being implemented. It's really powerful stuff.
That's a profound shift in perspective. So if direct vocal prompting isn't the primary path forward, what are these crucial alternatives? The chapter introduces us to augmentative communication systems. What exactly are these and why are they so pivotal?
Okay, so augmentative communication systems are simply any tools or methods used to support or enhance language. Think of them as communication bridges, really.
Right.
When existing systems aren't working effectively, or maybe they lead to what we call prompt-dependent responses, where a child only uses general signs like please or more, without truly initiating communication for specific items, the recommendation is often to approach it with a clean slate.
A clean slate?
Yeah, taking a fresh look at the child's unique communication needs. The three most common types that ABA practitioners, especially those familiar with B.F. Skinner's analysis of verbal behavior, consider are sign language, voice output devices, and the Picture Exchange Communication System, or PECS.
Got it. Now, the author expresses a strong preference for sign language as the primary strategy for teaching non-vocal children to mand. What makes it such a powerful choice, especially when we think about, really unlocking a child's world?
Well, when we connect this to the bigger picture, sign language offers several incredibly compelling advantages. The real aha here isn't just that sign language is portable. It's that it fundamentally liberates communication from environmental constraints. Imagine a child on a trampoline just brimming with joy, still able to request more bounce with a simple sign.
Yeah, I can see that.
This isn't just convenience. It's unlocking hundreds of otherwise missed opportunities for manding, for requesting what they want all throughout the day.
Right.
It's also incredibly comprehensive for the verbal behavior approach, working across all the different operants of words.
Operants. Okay, can you elaborate a bit on what that means in this context?
Sure. Think of operants as the job a word does for the child.
Okay.
Is the child using cookie to ask for it? That's a mand.
Right.
Are they using it to label it because they see it? That's a tact.
Gotcha.
Or maybe to answer a question about it, like, what do you eat? Cookie. Understanding these different functions is crucial for building comprehensive language.
I see.
And sign language allows for all of these. So once a child learns to sign for cookie, They can then use that same sign to answer, "Tell me something you eat."
Ah, okay.
And here's where it gets really interesting. Research consistently shows that when accompanied by spoken words, sign language can actually help improve vocalization. Yeah. It's not necessarily a replacement for speech. It can actually be a pathway to speech for many kids.
That's truly fascinating, that it can improve vocalization. That feels like a surprising fact. But, like, every approach has its nuances, right? Are there any practical downsides to sign language that professionals or parents need to be aware of?
Oh, for sure. There's some practical hurdles. Adults working with a child must be trained in core ABA principles.
Like what?
Things like pairing, associating words with items, reinforcement, strengthening behaviors, prompting, assisting the child shaping, gradually refining responses, and prompt fading, reducing that assistance over time.
Okay.
Without this foundational training, honestly, its effectiveness can be pretty limited.
Right.
The other commonly cited disadvantage is that sign language isn't universally understood out in the wider community.
Sure.
Your local barista might not understand a sign for latte.
Yeah.
This can become more of an issue as a child gets older and wants more independence outside their immediate support network. So a key takeaway for you listening is that all family members must learn the child's specific signs, maybe through a homemade picture sign dictionary or by videoing a skilled professional demonstrating the signs. You need that consistency to prevent communication breakdowns. It's absolutely a team effort.
Okay, so beyond sign language, what about those other systems? Voice output systems and PECS. How do they stack up against sign language? What are their unique strengths and weaknesses?
Right, so voice output systems, these are devices where a child selects a button, maybe a picture, and the machine produces speech.
Okay.
They range from simple models, maybe just discriminating between a few preferred items, to really highly sophisticated systems that require pretty advanced receptive language skills for full sentence production. The advantages are clear. The words produced are easily understood by anyone. That's a huge plus, obviously.
Yeah, definitely.
However, they can be quite costly. We're talking over $5,000 in some cases.
Wow.
And they require adults to be skilled at updating and maintaining them, troubleshooting malfunctions, which happen, and critically, ensuring a backup system is in place for when they inevitably break down or need repairs. Also somewhat cumbersome, not exactly something you can take swimming or easily carry everywhere. And they can demand a fair amount of receptive language from the child just to navigate the system itself.
Right. And PECS, the Picture Exchange Communication System. I know many people listening have probably encountered this one.
Yeah, PECS. This involves teaching a child to use pictures to mand for items. Like voice output, its primary advantage is that pictures are pretty easily understood by almost anyone.
Okay.
But after those initial stages, children often have to learn to select abstract pictures from a potentially large array, which can be surprisingly difficult.
How so?
Well, imagine trying to pick out a specific picture of corn chips from many other similar-looking snack images. It takes discrimination skills. The system often involves a large, kind of unwieldy book that needs to go everywhere with the child.
Right, I've seen those.
Which makes it impractical for activities like swimming or jumping on a trampoline where hands are busy or the book might get damaged. The author actually recalls frequently needing a new picture of pizza, highlighting the constant maintenance required to update pictures as a child's preferences or environment change. It's like having a physical dictionary that's always just a bit out of date.
Okay, so with these different options, this raises a really important question for our listeners. How do you decide what's best for your child, especially if they're already using a system that maybe isn't perfect?
You've hit on a crucial point there. Don't just discontinue a system abruptly if it's already working, even if it's imperfect.
Okay.
The key is to evaluate its effectiveness. Ask yourself, is the child using it independently throughout the day? Or just at specific times, or only when the device is conveniently placed right in front of them? Is the system causing problem behaviors, like tantrums, maybe because it's cumbersome or breaks down frequently?
Right.
And is it accessible and used consistently across all environments by everyone involved, from home to school providers? Consistency is really the bedrock here.
So what if it's working some of the time, but maybe not all of the time? Is there a middle ground? Can you mix and match?
Absolutely. That's often the best approach.
Yeah.
You might consider adding sign language for specific activities where their current system falls short.
Ah,
For
okay.
example, if your child uses a voice output device or PECS at snack time but doesn't take it to the pool or the trampoline, you might substitute sign language for those activities.
Makes sense.
The ultimate goal is communication, right?
Mm.
Not simply learning one specific system. We've seen great success with children who use multiple modalities.
Yeah.
Like an 8-year-old the author worked with who used a voice output device had PECS as a backup when the primary device was broken, which apparently was often. And also, learn to sign for those moments when neither device was practical. It's about creating a truly robust communication toolkit for the child.
That makes perfect sense. So if sign language is often the recommended starting point for many non-vocal children, for a parent or professional just beginning this journey, what's the very first practical step? Don't tell me I need to enroll in a formal ASL class.
No, don't panic. You absolutely do not need to enroll in formal ASL classes. That's the beauty of this approach. It's practicality.
Okay.
Begin by learning the signs for your child's top 5 to 10 reinforcers.
Reinforcers.
Yeah, their most preferred items or activities, the things that really motivate them.
Got it.
Then, simply stay a few signs ahead of your child, continually learning new signs as they master the existing ones. While learning the signs themselves isn't usually the hard part. The real challenge, and where the artful dance using the science of ABA comes in, is teaching your child how to shape those signs into clear movements, accepting approximations at first, and then gradually refining them. It's like being a gentle sculptor of communication.
That sounds like it requires a lot of practice and precision, not just for the child, but for the adults too. A lot of coordination.
It truly does. And one of the best ways to learn how to teach children any skill, but especially sign language, is through adult-to-adult role-playing.
Really?
Yeah. One adult pretends to be the child, maybe mimics some of the challenges, and the other practices prompting, reinforcing, fading, while another observes and gives feedback.
Okay.
It helps you figure out how, when, and how much to prompt and what to accept as a correct response before you're in the moment with the child. This pre-practice is invaluable.
I can see that.
And consistency, above all, is paramount.
Yeah.
Everyone working with the child needs to learn and accept the same signs in the same way. This often means frequent team meetings, maybe sharing videos, just to ensure uniformity and prevent confusing the child. Imagine the child learning one sign for cookie from mom and a totally different one from dad. It would be chaos.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, this is super practical. Can you give us a quick run-through of the actual process for teaching those first 5 signs? Lay it out for us.
Absolutely. First, get yourself a good sign language dictionary, like Signing Exact English, or use reliable online resources like lifeprint.com.
Okay.
Some kits, like the K&K sign and, say, Verbal Language Kit, can also be really helpful. They have flashcards with signs for common reinforcers and even breakdowns for vocal approximations, like teaching DVD by starting with shaping the sound to D.
Ah, neat.
When you're selecting your first 5 signs, try to choose ones that look and feel dissimilar from each other.
Why is that?
It just makes it easier for the child to differentiate between them initially. Avoid signs that might sort of rhyme visually or have very similar hand motions. Also, make sure they are not too complex to prompt physically. You might need to simplify a sign. If the typical motion requires high dexterity, just make sure all adults use the same simplified version consistently.
Okay, makes sense. So you have your signs. What's next?
Okay, once you have your signs, you begin with pairing.
Pairing.
Yeah. As you bring a preferred item, let's say a chip, closer to the child, you'll say the word chip and make the sign for chip 3 times before and during delivery.
Okay, 3 times.
Right. At this stage, you're not asking the child to do anything yet, just building that strong association, word, sign, item, and work on all 5 words together, kind of rotating through them, not just one word at a time. Keeps motivation high.
Got it.
Next, you'll gently, physically guide or prompt the child to produce the sign. So, for example, when they reach for that cookie, you demonstrate the sign yourself, then gently guide their hands to make the sign as you say, cookie again, and then immediately deliver the cookie, saying the word one last time.
Immediately, okay.
Yes. Immediacy is key for reinforcement. This process is repeated for all the commands you're teaching. Many children, honestly, quickly start to use signs independently or even make vocal approximations at this stage. It's often like watching a light bulb switch on.
That's amazing. But what happens if the child becomes dependent on those prompts or starts making, sloppy responses? I can definitely imagine that happening if you're too eager to help.
You're right, that's a common pitfall.
Yeah.
You might see what we affectionately call zombie hands.
Zombie hands.
Yeah, where the child just holds out their arms kind of stiffly, waiting for you to physically move them into the sign.
Ah, okay.
This is a classic result of overprompting. The solution is to start fading your prompts. Reduce how much help you give. And crucially, accept approximations, even minimal movements at first, just to get your child to initiate independently.
Accept approximations.
Yes. The author shares a powerful example with a young girl signing for popcorn. By accepting even just a tiny bit of arm movement initially, they quickly shaped it into the full sign. And importantly, the girl stopped being prompt-dependent and later began to speak. The opposite problem is scrolling.
Scrolling.
Where a child cycles through many signs quickly, almost like a baseball coach giving signals.
Okay.
This is often due to fading prompts too quickly and maybe reinforcing sloppy or incorrect responses earlier on. The key here is never reinforce scrolling. Instead, gently neutralize their hands for a moment, just bring them down calmly, then demonstrate and prompt the correct sign as much as needed, and then reinforce that correct sign.
Got it. Neutralize, then prompt correctly.
Exactly. And once a child has strong, independent signed mands, you can even experiment cautiously with delaying reinforcement for just a few seconds to see if it encourages any vocal approximations. But don't hold out for too long. Remember, you can't control their desire to speak, only create the optimal environment for it to potentially emerge.
Okay, so beyond teaching specific signs, what else can we do in the child's environment to encourage them to talk, to really foster vocalization itself?
Right. You want to enrich their environment by essentially bombarding them with single words. We adults often speak way too quickly and use complex sentences.
Guilty.
Yeah. Instead of saying, look, John is going up the steps, try just saying up, up, up in a loud, playful voice as he climbs.
Okay.
Focus on single-syllable, easy words, maybe words that are already reinforcers for the child. Pair them 3 times with whatever's happening in the environment.
Simple, clear, repeated.
Exactly. Another key strategy, and this is where many parents find surprising success, is to reinforce any type of babbling, sounds, or word approximations your child makes.
Any sound.
Any sound. To do this effectively, maybe set a timer for a specific period, say 15 minutes, and consciously listen for sounds. If you hear ba-da-ba or mama, even if it's just random babbling, consciously reinforce those sounds. Say something like, ba-da-ba, Ryan, nice talking. Here, have a chip.
Ah, making that connection.
Precisely. It's about building that positive association with making sounds, with vocal output.
I've also heard about the importance of physical activity and even specific mouth exercises. Does that play a role here too?
Yes, absolutely. Encouraging big movement activities, think vigorous play, running, jumping, sensory activities, before, during, and after manding sessions can often lead to increased speech production.
Interesting.
It's definitely worth observing if your child tends to babble more during gross motor activities. Often there's a strong correlation.
Okay.
And don't forget mouth muscle development. While, controlled research might be limited, it just makes intuitive sense that strengthening mouth muscles aids speech, similar to how strengthening arm muscles helps with gross motor skills.
Makes sense.
Things like the bubble, horn, and straw programs from places like Talk Tools can be beneficial. They also help the child associate controlled oral airflow with speech production, which is important.
Right.
And here's a critical piece of advice from a nationally known speech pathologist, Joanne Garinser, that might surprise you. Throw away the sippy cups.
Really? Why?
Encourage straw use, water bottle use, or open cup drinking instead. These require more complex oral motor skills and help improve muscle strength and control needed for speech. It's a simple change with potentially big payoffs.
Wow, okay. Ditch the sippy cups. Got it. So once a child starts making sounds, or even a few words, the next crucial step is clarity, right?
Yeah.
How do we help them articulate so that strangers, not just family, can understand them?
Exactly. Clarity is key for functional communication. This raises an important point. If the child can produce a word clearly, then all adults involved must only accept and reinforce accurate vocalizations for that word.
Only the clear version.
Yes. The bar must be kept high and gradually inched up. We need to ensure the child becomes more, not less, understandable over time.
Okay.
The author shares a personal example with her son, Lucas. He began saying wire instead of water. Why? Because adults were accepting the imprecise word. Once they stopped reinforcing wire and only reinforced water, the pronunciation improved.
Consistency again.
Always. Another example was Lucas adding an A sound to the end of every word, like cuppa or kata. Turns out it was likely because of overemphasis on the last consonant during teaching. The solution: to consciously underemphasize that final consonant. The problem cleared up almost instantly. It's often these subtle adjustments.
Fascinating. So consistency and clear collective expectations are truly the key. How do you manage that across an entire team, parents, therapists, teachers? That sounds challenging.
It truly is a team effort, no doubt.
Yeah.
You absolutely need a running list of how your child currently says each word and what the target pronunciation is so everyone is on the same
A
page.
shared list. Right.
Use flashcards perhaps to practice single and maybe double syllable words that are fairly easy to say, like cat or puppy. Then categorize them.
Categorize how?
Maybe. Words that are clearly articulated, practice these frequently with high reinforcement to maintain them. Then, words that need some work but have potential, collaborate closely with a speech therapist here for specific strategies.
Sure.
And finally, very difficult words, maybe put these away for now.
Why put them away?
To avoid practicing errors. Practicing errors is never beneficial. It just strengthens the incorrect motor pattern.
Right. Focus on success.
Exactly. It's everyone's job on the team to help that child speak and articulate well. And with consistent application of these techniques, nearly every child's chances of speaking and being understood will improve significantly. And, remember, no matter how old the child is, or even if it's an adult,
Yeah.
don't give up hope that they might become vocal. Progress can happen at any age.
That's a really important message. We've covered so much today in this deep dive into increasing and improving speech in non-vocal and minimally vocal children.
Wow.
From understanding the foundational challenges, the surprising power of the verbal behavior approach, to the nuances of augmentative communication systems like sign, PECS, and voice output devices.
Yeah.
We've explored the detailed yet practical steps for teaching sign language, troubleshooting common pitfalls like zombie hands and scrolling,
Right.
and even practical strategies for enriching the environment and refining articulation. It really feels like a comprehensive roadmap.
I think the consistent theme throughout our deep dive today is the profound impact of structured, thoughtful intervention. But it has to be coupled with unwavering dedication and real teamwork.
Yeah.
It's about meeting the child exactly where they are and patiently building that pathway to communication, whether it's through signs, sounds, or eventually words. Always holding on to that hope that every sound, every gesture is a step closer to connection.
Beautifully put. As you reflect on these powerful strategies for fostering communication, consider this. What small, consistent shift in your daily interactions, building on the principles we've discussed today, could create an aha moment for someone in your life, perhaps a child, a student, or even a colleague, unlocking new avenues of connection and understanding?